Hi and welcome to my English channel. Are you learning English? That's awesome. Let's learn English together through some exciting stories. But first, tell me, which country are you watching from? I'd love to know how far this message has reached. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Alright, let's get started.
My name is Alex. I am 19 years old, and I live in a small town surrounded by tall, green mountains. Our town is quiet, and most people know each other. I have always loved this place, but life here is not easy for my family. My dad, John, works as a mechanic. He fixes cars all day, and sometimes comes home tired and covered in grease. My mom, Lisa, cleans houses to help make ends meet. She works hard, and I can see how tired she is every evening, yet she never complains. I also have a little brother, Max. He is 9 years old and looks up to me like I am his hero. Sometimes I feel proud, but other times I feel a heavy responsibility on my shoulders. I have big dreams. Ever since I was a child, I wanted to own a bakery. I imagined the smell of fresh bread in the morning, warm pastries on the shelves, and a small shop filled with happy customers. Later, I dreamed even bigger. I wanted to open a chain of restaurants to give my family a better life and show them that hard work can change everything. But thinking about it made me nervous. How could I start something so big when we barely had enough money for food? One cold evening, I sat outside our little house, looking at the stars. The sky was clear, and the mountains looked dark and calm. I whispered to myself, I want to help my family. I want to make their lives better. But where do I start? My heart felt heavy, and a little fear crept in. I knew I could not wait for luck or magic. If I wanted to succeed, I had to work hard. The next morning, I told my dad about my dream. I explained how I wanted to start small, maybe sell bread and pastries in town, and eventually grow my own business. My dad listened carefully, then sighed and said, Alex, nothing is free. If you want something, you have to work for it. Start with what you have, even if it is small. Don't expect anything to come without effort. His words stayed in my mind all day. I realized that if I wanted to make my dream real, I could not be afraid of starting small. Every step, every little effort, would bring me closer to my goal. I started looking closely at my town. One thing became very clear. People loved fresh bread and pastries, but there was only one bakery far away in the next town. Many people had to walk or drive for miles just to buy fresh bread. I thought to myself, maybe I can start selling bread right here. I don't need a big shop. I can start small. I felt excited, but the truth hit me immediately. I had no money. I didn't even have enough to buy a few loaves of bread. I wondered how I could make my dream real when I didn't have anything to start with. I thought about giving up, but then I remembered my dad's words. Nothing is free. Start with what you have. I realized that if I wanted something badly enough, I had to take a chance and try. I decided to talk to Mr. Thompson the owner of the bakery in the next town. He was known as a strict and serious man. He didn't trust people easily and sometimes seemed grumpy. I walked for miles to reach his bakery. When I finally met him, I explained my idea. "Mr. Thompson," I said, trying to sound confident, "I want to sell your bread in my town. I don't have money to pay up front. But if you trust me for 1 week, I will sell the bread, return your money, and keep a small profit. I promise I will work hard." He looked at me for a long time, raising an eyebrow. "Why should I trust you, young man?" he asked. I felt nervous, but I replied firmly, "Because I am determined. I will work every day to show you I can do it." After a long pause, he finally nodded. "All right, 1 week. If you fail to pay me back, don't come here again." I couldn't believe it. I had my first chance. The next morning, I woke up early and carried the first batch of bread back to my town. I set up a small stand near the park. At first, people just walked past, unsure of what I was selling. But I greeted everyone with a smile and offered free samples. "Fresh bread, warm and delicious," I said, hoping someone would try. Slowly, people started tasting the bread. Some smiled, some nodded, and soon I had my first customers. It was not easy. Some people didn't buy, and I had to call out to strangers to try my bread. My legs hurt from standing all day, and my hands became sore from carrying baskets. But I remembered my promise to myself. I would not give up. I kept smiling, kept offering samples, and kept talking to people. By the end of the day, I had sold all the bread. I counted the money, paid back Mr. Thompson, and kept a small profit. My heart was full of joy. It was a small success, but it felt huge to me. I realized something very important that day. Every big dream starts with a small step. Even though I had nothing at first, my determination and hard work helped me take that first step toward my goal. After selling bread in my town for about 2 months, something interesting happened. One day, a regular customer came to my stand and said, "Alex, your bread is really good, but why don't you bake it yourself? You could earn more money if you made your own bread." At first, I felt nervous. I had never baked anything in my life. What if I failed? But then I remembered my father's words. Nothing is free. You have to work hard and start small. I realized that if I wanted to grow, I had to take a risk and learn new skills. The next morning, I went to Mr. Thompson and asked, "Sir, could you teach me how to bake?" He looked at me carefully and frowned. "Why should I teach you? If you bake your own bread, you might not buy from me anymore." I smiled and said, "I will never forget the man who gave me my first chance. If I succeed, I will still support your bakery." After a pause, he finally agreed. "All right, but baking is not easy. It takes patience, hard work, and time. Are you ready?" I nodded eagerly. The lessons began very early. I woke up before sunrise every day to practice. Mr. Thompson taught me how to mix flour knead the dough, and bake it perfectly. At first, everything went wrong. My hands hurt from kneading, and the bread often came out too hard or too soft. I felt tired and frustrated. Some days I thought about giving up, but every time I remembered my father's words, I reminded myself, failure is a lesson, not the end. Slowly I improved. My bread became softer, my pastries looked nicer, and my confidence grew. I rented a small oven at home so I could bake more. I started making bread, cookies, and simple pastries. My family helped me a lot. Max, my little brother, packed the bread carefully, and my mom made tea for me while I worked late into the night. Soon, the people in my town noticed my hard work. They loved the fresh bread, cookies, and pastries. Word spread, and more customers came every day. I felt proud and happy, not just because of the money, but because my small stand was becoming known for something special. I realized that learning, practicing, and working hard every day could really make dreams start to come true. A few months after I started baking my own bread and pastries, something unexpected happened. A new bakery opened in our town. It was big, bright, and colorful, with shiny signs and beautiful decorations. Many people were curious and started going there instead of my small stand. I noticed my sales dropping, and for the first time, I felt worried. What if I lose everything I worked so hard for? I thought. My heart felt heavy, but deep down, I knew giving up was not an option. I decided to talk to my customers. I asked them, "What do you like about the new bakery? What can I do better?" Some said the other shop looked clean and pretty. Others said the cakes and pastries were beautifully decorated. I realized that to keep my customers, I needed to improve, not just as a baker, but as a small business owner. The next days were full of work. I painted my stand with bright colors, added small decorations, and started offering free samples of my new pastries. I even tried new recipes for cookies and small cakes. Slowly, people began coming back. They smiled, tried my bread, and told me they liked the changes. Their support gave me energy and courage. I realized that even small improvements could make a big difference. Then one stormy night, a new challenge appeared. As I was closing my stand, I saw smoke coming from my oven. A small fire had started, and some of my baking equipment was damaged. I felt a mix of fear and sadness. For a moment, I didn't know what to do. But then I remembered Mr. Thompson's advice. Work harder, believe in yourself, and people will support you. The next morning, I made a plan. I started baking at home with the equipment I had left. I told my customers, "I won't let you down. I will keep serving you, even if it is just a small amount for now." When people heard about the fire, they came to help. Some donated ingredients, others gave small amounts of money, and a few offered their time to clean and repair my stand. With everyone's support and my own hard work, I slowly rebuilt my business. The experience taught me an important lesson. Challenges are part of the journey, and perseverance is key. If you never give up, people notice, and sometimes they are willing to help someone who helps themselves. That stormy night could have ended everything, but instead, it became a moment that made me stronger and more determined than ever. After months of hard work, long nights, and many challenges, the day finally came to reopen my bakery. I named it Alex's Fresh Bakes. It was not the biggest shop in town, and it did not have flashy signs like the new bakery, but it was warm, welcoming, and full of character. I painted the walls in soft colors, arranged the shelves carefully, and made a small corner where customers could sit and enjoy fresh pastries with tea. I wanted everyone who came in to feel at home, to feel the love and effort I put into my work. On the first day, I woke up before sunrise as usual. I baked fresh bread, cookies, and small cakes. My little brother Max helped pack the orders, and my mom made tea and snacks for me. When I opened the door, I felt nervous. Would customers come? Would they like my products? Slowly, people started arriving. Some were my old customers who had stayed with me through thick and thin. Others were curious visitors from neighboring towns who had heard about the young baker who never gave up. They smiled, tasted the bread, and complimented my pastries. Their happiness filled me with pride. Over time, the bakery grew in reputation. I realized that success was not only about money or size. It was about heart, determination, and persistence. I learned many important lessons through this journey. First, dreams are never free. If you want something in life, you must work for it, day by day, step by step, with patience and determination. Second, failure is not the end. Every mistake, every small disaster is an opportunity to learn and grow stronger. Third, when you help yourself and show that you are serious about your work, people will notice and support you. And finally, never give up, even when life seems difficult. The darkest moments often come just before success, and perseverance makes all the difference. Now, my bakery is more than a business. It is a symbol of hope, pride, and purpose. I wake up every morning excited to bake, to see the smiles of my customers, and to continue improving. I realize that I am not just selling bread and pastries. I am building a life full of meaning, teaching my family and the town the value of hard work, courage, and determination. Looking back, I am proud of how far I have come. From a small stand with borrowed bread to my own bakery. The journey was never easy, but every challenge taught me something new. Every obstacle made me stronger, and every small victory reminded me why I started. My life is fuller, my family is happier, and I know that as long as I continue to work hard and never give up, anything is possible.
Thank you so much for watching this story. If you enjoyed it and learned something new, don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends. Maybe they need a little reminder to be brave and kind too. And if you love stories like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Every week, we share new English stories that are simple, beautiful, and full of life lessons. Stories that help you learn English naturally while touching your heart. Remember, learning English doesn't have to be hard. It can be peaceful, meaningful, and fun, one story at a time. So, see you in the next video, and until then, keep learning, keep smiling, and keep being kind.